Once our event has been submitted for approval, we can check the status by coming to the Events menu and selecting All Events. Once an examiner has been assigned to your event, you will receive an email notification to let you know that this event is now ready for you to enter learners. We can then come along to the Actions menu and view the event. We can view all of the individual sessions within that event. Again, we can come to the Actions menu and view the session, and begin to add learners and groups into our session. In order to add a new learner, we'll click on New Learner, and we can add an existing learner or create a new learner. We will select the qualification, and the Smart Filter boxes will allow us to type any part of the qualification we're looking for. So if we want to find grade 5, we can simply type grade 5 and we get a short list of all the grade 5s. I'll select grade 3 acting, and then select the learner in the same way. We can begin to type any part of the letter's name, and then we can either save, which will take us back to the screen below, or we can save and continue to add some more learners. Then we can select Finished. In order to add a group to this session, we will click on the New Learner and Single Examination Group. We will select the group name, such as Group 1. We will select a group qualification and then save. We've now added a group to our session, but we have no candidates. In order to add candidates, we will again click Actions and select Group Learners. Now we can enter in an existing learner, or we can create a new learner. So we will select a new learner. We can enter in the unique learner number if we have one. If not, you can carry on to the candidate's name. You can enter their ethnicity, email address if we have one, a date of birth, and then the postcode, which is required now. Now we've registered a new learner and entered them into this group, we can add an existing learner just by selecting the learner's name. Then we can return to the session view. We can see now that we have 2 candidates in this group. Ideally, we will enter the candidates in the order that we would like them to be in the session, because it will save us some work moving them around. However, if we do need to move candidates around, we have a few options. We can click on the Schedule Session button, and we can simply drag people around. If we wanted to move the group to the beginning of the session, we simply drag them up to the beginning of the session. We can then return to the session view. If we wanted to move this group into room 2 or into a different room, we can click on the Action button. Let's select Move, and this will show us all of the other sessions in this event. We can choose to move this group or this learner to a different session within this event. So you select Move, and that group has now moved to the other session in this event. Once we've completed building our sessions and we're happy with the layout of the sessions, we can complete the entries. This will then submit this event back to LAMDA in order that they can make their checks and finalize this event. In order to do this, we select Complete Entries, and any errors in this event will be flagged here. The group that we've entered has a minimum of 3 candidates, but we've only entered 2, so we need to go back in and fix that group. We can find that group we moved in room number 1. We can click on the actions to view this session and find our group that's only got 2 candidates. We can go and view the group learners, and we can add in another learner into this group. Okay, so now that we've got 3 learners in this group, we can now complete the entries and make a payment against this session. At any point during this process, you have the opportunity to view the balance for this session. We can click on the Print Event Balance, and this will show us a list of all the examinations that make up the event with a running total for the event. Once we're happy, we can complete the entries and make a payment. Again, if the minimum amount has not been reached for this session, then a charge will be added to your invoice and made available for you to pay. We can select OK, and then we are able to make a payment against this session. So we enter card details and we make a payment.